This just in. It's the Ministry of Souls News Network. Oh my god. So I had said 2000, like quite early 2025 to my person. Um, I've got to take Elon Musk down and Donald Trump too. And he said, do what you must. I said, I'm just letting you know. And he knows why I was letting him know. And I had said to him, it's been decided from what I've heard from them upstairs, he's got one of two ways to go. He's either going to end up getting arrested and get the death penalty for crimes against humanity, genocide, blah, blah, blah. Because, the whole Epstein thing, because he helps traffic them, he does bad things, right? I said, or it's going to be drug and alcohol related. So then now we know what just happened, and now I know why he tried to cut me off. Now I know why he stopped my feed twice. Because he knows I'm right, and I bet you anything like he's shitting himself. Shitting a ton of bricks. And I'll tell you why. You know what they just said? You saw me getting that download. I wasn't expecting to get a download, but they decided to give me a download live on air in front of over 80 listeners. And they said he's marked for death. Well, get this. Got myself a hot water bottle. I'm sitting here, I've just finished having my brekkie, and I thought I'm just going to have a look up and see if there's anything on the news about Elon Musk's health. Now, let me tell you, I'll put links in the description box. A doctor watched him on the Joe Rogan show, and he said there's something not right with his health. He said between his rampant drug use, his bad diet, his high stress life, especially since he started trying to interfere in German and New Zealand and British and Dutch and American politics, and that he's rapidly aging. He said Elon Musk is rapidly aging. His mental health is deteriorating, and he said that judging by the look of him, it's a sign that his heart's starting to give out. I'm paraphrasing, but this doctor said he's at high risk for strokes, heart attacks, and blood clots. And what did I say about his lymphatic system, his liver, his heart, his circulatory system? What did I say? And his own biographer said, on top of that, because of his rampant drug use, he takes ketamine, he takes psychedelics, all sorts of things. He takes about 7 or 8 different things, different kinds of drugs, cocaine, like all of that sort of stuff. And his decline in mental health, his own biographer has said the exact same thing, and even was mentioning about his father and grandfather and all that. So I was absolutely spot on. In my last live, that download I just got live on air that I wasn't expecting, that I knew nothing about because I keep my business to myself, was 100% spot on. So you mark my words, Elon Musk is going to end up in hospital and he's going to die because of his drug and alcohol use. He's rotting from the inside out. I was spot on. I was absolutely spot on. The funny thing is, it was the fact that the doctor said, the fact that he looks like he's what did I say? No, did I say de-aging? That he's rapidly aging. He looks older than he is, and he's my doppelganger, remember? And I'm getting younger looking. He's a year older than me, and he looks like he's in his 60s, and I'm a year younger than him, and people think I'm in my 30s because he's my doppelganger. So he's the opposite of me. He tries to copy me, but he's the opposite of me, and I know that my heart is as healthy as a horse, and I know that my blood is as clean as a whistle, and I don't drink and I don't do drugs. I take CBD oil, oregano oil, mushrooms for my, to for a healthy brain. I take all vitamins. I heal myself with the earth, whereas he uses chemicals. It's not to say that I don't drink. It's just that I'll have a couple of drinks every couple of years. Or like when I get out of here and I get justice, I'm telling you, I'm going to throw the party of the century. And I will allow, I said to my sister, I even said to Amber and my boys, I'll let myself get drunk, fleeing drunk, just this once because I've bloody earned it. And we'll have a karaoke and we'll sing and we'll dance and we'll party all night because I've earned it. And then I'll probably never drink again, and if I do, it'll only be a couple. But I used to drink Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. When I was younger, I could drink with the best of them. It's just now that I'm sugar free, I just don't enjoy alcohol anymore. I don't like the way it makes me feel when I'm hungover. It's a horrible feeling. I'd rather smoke weed. It's just it's not legal and I have no access to it. So, and as we now know, it improves people over the age of 40's cognitive abilities and helps with their joints and coats their brain. Proven, scientifically proven. So yeah, I have no drugs or alcohol in my system. You won't find it. And that's just hilarious. I was not expecting that download. I'm speechless. Even I get shocked with some of the things I do. Even I don't see stuff coming. I mean, I was given a heads up, obviously, but I don't know what it means until it happens. I can interpret it, and it'll make sense once the event happens. But that's 3 times now. God set a trap for Elon Musk, and he's walked straight in it. And as a result, he's now been marked for death because he didn't listen to the warnings. You can search through my internet history. You will not find I have researched anything about that man. And yet, I think this was going back to November of last year. He was on the Joe Rogan show, and a doctor watching the show said he was concerned about Elon Musk's health because he's rapidly aging. And then he was going into it about, his bad diet and his high stress life since he got involved in politics and blah, blah, blah. And he said he's concerned that he's in line for a heart attack, stroke, or blood clot. And what did I say? His lips are purple, which means poor circulatory system, which means he may have blood clots. He may end up having an aneurysm or something like that. But I was spot on. God has literally just told Elon Musk because he faffoed with me, he effed around and found out, he's now marked for death. Well done, Elon. You idiot. I told you not to dick about with me, and you didn't listen, and now God has just struck you down. I zapped you the other day, didn't I, with my finger of point, and you didn't listen. You kept going, and you kept going, and you kept insisting, and now God is going to end your life by your own hand. A self-induced chemical-related death. I can't believe when I saw the article and his own biographer who studied him for years saying about his declining mental health and his declining health. But when the doctor said about the heart putting tears in the heart and the blood clots and that, I couldn't believe it. Like, I got goosebumps because God just called him out live on you in front of all those people. In my last live, God literally called him out because he faffed. He effed around and found out. Well, he effed around and now he's finding out. He just tried to cut me off again. So it means I'm telling the truth. Oh my God. God's just sealed Elon Musk's fate because he faffed. He effed around. And now he's just found out. So I think what this means is he's going to have an accidental overdose and die. Because his heart and his liver and his circulatory system, they can't handle it anymore. And he just tried to cut me off again. Oh my God, I love my life so much. Praise the Lord. I love it. God's never wrong. Oh my, the timing, eh? And it proves that he watches me like a hawk. And see now him pretending to be a Christian. I'm not a Christian. People keep thinking I'm a Christian because I read the Bible and because, you know, I talk about God and I recite the Bible, but I also recite the Quran. I also recite Stoic philosophers and mythology and like Greek gods and all that, but I'm not a Christian. I don't believe in religion. I have a faith. I was raised Catholic with a Catholic Muslim dad and a Church of England turned Catholic mum, but I turned my back on religion. I follow faith, not religion. And so because he's trying to be me, but he's Baphomet, you see. And God says in the Bible, beware of demons disguised as angels. Beware of the unholy disguised as the holy. The unholy, or the NEWSFLASH, in my movie Unorthodox, that's the name of the cult that the MSNN makes. See, because what happens in Unorthodox is that people go to the cave and make offerings to the MSNN, which I based on Elon Musk / Manango of the Philippines. The Black Annis, right? I merged the two folklores and came up with the MSNN, but it's Elon Musk, the tunnel digger, who sacrifices the children and the virgins and wears their skin, right? And they say she has green skin, and his skin's, I mean, they were talking about this colour of his skin. It's hilarious. He's looking all waxy in that. I did a whole video about the Black Annis, and I always refer to him as the Black Annis because the Black Annis is the tunnel digger. So in the movie Unorthodox, people make offerings to the Black Annis, and when they don't live up to their end of the bargain, the Black Annis send the witches out to come and collect their souls. And then he takes the offerings of the souls to the NEWSFLASH, which is the name of the devil, because the MSNN is a demon. Demons work for devils, right? So that's why he's the son of Baphomet and not Baphomet himself. He comes from a long line of men doing bad things to women and children. So he then makes the offering to the NEWSFLASH, which is the unholy. And that's Donald Trump, based on Donald Trump. That's my movie. That's my supernatural horror. Because you know how I've got to do horrors in all genres? I do movies in all genres. Well, I've got a supernatural horror, and that's what Unorthodox is. And you meet the priest. You meet the priest. I was going to make him a cop, but I decided to make him a priest. Father Petrov, I think I called him. Father Petrov is what I called him. You meet the priest in the Quantum Menace, the fourth son. fourth son. Elon, his dad, his grandfather, his great-grandfather. But I said no, because that was 6. I said sixth in line. So maybe I could call it the 6th son. No, I'll keep it as the 4th son, because it... So that's when you meet Ben, the Quantum Menace. The Quantum Menace was originally one movie with Olivia Day and her superhero mutant legion. You know, her mutant legion. But then when I turned Olivia into Ben, it opened up a whole thing. And because I have to do an action movie like Rambo and Commando and all that, I was talking to my nephew about it. And the way that we were writing it, I said to him, that sounds like the Quantum Menace, but it's a girl. And I said, but it doesn't sound right. And I didn't want people to think that I was being all woke. So I said, I'm just going to change Olivia Day into Ben. I've always loved the name Ben. I've always loved the name Benjamin from Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. Because the Adam's, the second oldest boy's name's Benjamin. And I've always loved the name Benjamin. So I named him Ben. So the Quantum Menace is Ben. He's my version of like a Marvel comic, DC comic superhero. Like Superman and all that, you know. So then I thought, okay, so I need to write a prelude to the Quantum Menace, the Battle of Two Worlds. So then we came up with the Quantum Menace, the 4th son. And there's this whole storyline. And in the Quantum Menace, the 4th son, he meets Father Petrov. And that creates a spin-off movie called Unorthodox, which I made my supernatural thriller. And then in Quantum Menace 3, the conception of Heracles, that's when Quantum Menace 2, Battle of Two Worlds ends, and Art Mordor, Thor Killer, in German, which is based on Elon Musk again, because he works with the Glassadenbrigaden, the Glass Eye Brigades, he who wears the fake eye that downloads all the information to the eye. That's based on Elon Musk. And at the end of that, Heracles comes down in his mech suit. And then the Quantum Menace 3, because I then ended up turning it into a trilogy, is the story of how the Quantum Menace and the Mutant Legion go back in time to undo Heracles' history. And what was I just saying about God said he's going to undo their genetics? He's going to wipe their genetics out from history. Oh my God. So I'm watching all my movies play out in real life. So in Unorthodox, the Manini, people make offerings to the Manini in order to become rich, powerful, famous, whatever. And when they don't deliver, he sends his witches out to collect their souls, whether they're harpies, whether they're harridan, whether they're succubus, incubus, whatever. He sends them out to collect their souls. They fly out on their brooms and that, and they go and collect the souls of the people who haven't paid their debt or lived up to their end of the bargain when they signed their soul to the Manini. And then their souls are collected, and I've written some really beautiful, gruesome, horrible ways that they collect their souls too. And then they take the souls to the Manini, who puts them in the bag and then takes them down into the tunnels to give to the Nechastaya, the unholy. And it's happening now. All the people on the Epstein list and all the people who didn't live up to their bargain. You know how he's People are saying that he's taking people's blue ticks away. They're saying things he doesn't like and he's taking their blue ticks away, and he's shutting people's accounts down. And people are being hounded by MAGA bullies and people who are defending Donald Trump and going after Thomas Massey and all that. That's the witches. People paid him to have blue ticks and paid him to have free speech and that on his platform, and he's removing it all from them and then coming after them. That's the witches, the harridans and the harpies and the succubus and the incubus. Except God stepped in. Father Petrov steps in. So, how fabulous. I can't believe that I had that download come out of nowhere like a bolt of lightning from Zeus himself, telling the world what was going to happen to Elon Musk's health. And then once again he tries to shut me down just as I'm talking about it. And then I find the evidence that a doctor who doesn't, oh my God. So, yep, so he's marked for death. What an idiot. You faffed. He had to F around, and now he's about to find out. So get ready, Will, because he's about to go to hospital, and from there it's going to be his downfall. And remember, Donald Trump is found dead on the floor because he's going the same way. It's just hilarious because people keep talking about how Elon Musk is rapidly aging, and people keep saying they can't believe I'm 53 because I look like I'm in my 30s. I have no wrinkles or lines on my skin. And people were talking about how wrinkly and saggy and that his face is because he's my doppelganger. So anything that happens to me, the opposite happens to him. What he tries to do to me ends up happening to him because he's my doppelganger. And the doppelganger, I'll put the link in the video in the description box below. The doppelganger effect is a real thing that happens when you are on an ascending path. People who are psychopaths and sociopaths try to copy you. They try to mimic you, but because they're like the unholy version, they're the negative version of you. So, you know, you're bright light, they're false light. When you age, when you age backwards, they age forwards. So they'll look older. So I can guarantee you people like Rocio and Ria and Nikki and all that who are a lot younger than me will look older than me. I know Chris does. Chris looks almost identical, even almost the same haircut as Elon Musk. But I call it the doppelganger effect, but it does happen. You have these mentally unstable people who think they can copy you and be you, but it always backfires because they live in false light where you live in real light, you live in pure light. And when they try to copy you, it bounces back and comes back on them. And the first thing it does is messes with their head. And this is exactly what people have been saying, that his rapid mental health decline is so obvious now people are concerned, which is hilarious because remember they tried to say I was the one that was nuts. And clearly you can see I'm not. It's all because they wanted people to think that I was nuts and a whore because they didn't want countries giving me visas so that I would be able to build my school and save kids. Because I save souls, whereas they take them. Do you see the difference? Doppelganger, the twin, but the mirror opposite. I save souls with my light. They take souls with theirs, their laser beams, their drugs, their fetishes and their kidnapping of children and abuse of women and all that sort of thing. Hunting African Americans, and they take souls, I save them. But they stand in false light because they want you to think that I'd never do that, I'm the President of America. I'd never do that, I'm Elon Musk, I donate money to grooming gang investigations. Whereas I just sit and do my physics and perfect my science and speak the truth. And it's saving people. And I know it's saving people because they're reaching out and telling me that I'm saving them. I was actually told yesterday and the day before, you're giving me hope. I'm not afraid anymore. I was told that the other day, yesterday and the day before. You give me hope. I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid of the future. Whereas everybody around them's terrified. Pam Bondi apparently shitting herself because she's been told the second she steps foot out of America, she's been extradited. So they need to be doing the same with Donald Trump. Second he steps foot out of America, they need to extradite him. And the other thing is, I want to make something clear. I have no ill will towards Vladimir Putin or King Charles. I just can't help them anymore because they didn't listen. And I wanted, Vladimir Putin knows that I wanted to build in Russia and I wanted to work with him. We could have worked together and done incredible things, but he chose to work with Donald Trump instead, and I can't be around that. And with King Charles, I was supposed to work with him too, but he didn't listen and dissolve Parliament, so I can't work with him either, because I can't work around people who work for the devil. And because Starmer's still here, and Labour's still here, and government's still running, and Vladimir Putin signing mining deals and that with Donald Trump and that, I can't be around either of them because I have to be where the kids are safe. I'm like Moses, I have to lead the children to safety. And the only place where that seems to be is Switzerland. And I know CERN's there, but I'm never going to have any dealings with CERN. So that's not a thing. And as far as, the World Economic Forum's getting torn down anyway. But with Davos, I'll just shut the school down for the time that they have the meeting, and I'll just double down on security. So we just, no kids will be able to leave the grounds. And no one will be coming into the grounds. We'll just shut it down. It'll be what I've decided. What I'll do is it'll be when my staff get to have their break. So they'll have their Christmas break, but we'll be coming back to work pretty soon after New Year's. But then during the Davos, I call it Davros, the Davos meetings. That's when I'll shut everything down and my staff can take their breaks, take their holidays. So I'll have to try and work the school system so we either don't have kids there or we double down and just, put everyone on lockdown. Maybe have it so that some people have Christmas and New Year's off and some people have the Davos off. Although I don't intend to have kids with us over Christmas unless they've got nowhere to go or don't want to leave. I have to work the school timetable around letting them go home for Christmas. So there we go. It's hilarious. And then the numpty just tried to shut me off again, which means I'm telling the truth. He only does it when I'm telling the truth. This is fantastic. I always get the last laugh with that retard. It's so funny. So I'll put the links to the news articles below, but I'm telling you now, world, he's not going to be on this planet for much longer. By his own hand too. And then maybe I can take over his space program. They can all come and work for me. At least then they'll actually be working for the greater good, because when I team up my space program with my gaming chair, they can help me design my gaming chair. And my space program, because when my space program's turned up to my gaming chair, you're not going to believe what it's going to do for people who are terminally ill. I'm going to change the way people see death and the whole process of dying. I'll have my sister on board too, because she's a palliative care nurse. And I said to her, because I know it's inevitable that some people are going to die when they meet God in that chair, when I team it up with my space program, it's inevitable that we're going to have at least one or two people die over the course of, like it's going to happen if they're terminally ill. So I'll have to have a team of nurses in that with me, with the client, the patient, whatever, when they have their experience when they meet God, because I'm going to open the gates, open the portal gateways and let them meet God before they die, so that it puts their mind at ease. Because I have the key, so I have access. So I'm going to let people have access to God before they die, so they don't fear what happens when they cross over. Because I'm a death angel. My sister and I, we're both death angels, and she works with people who like dementia and palliative care, people that go into hospice and all of that to die, whereas I prepare people for the afterlife. People come to me when they have questions to ask. Like when I had my ascension, that video that I was talking about yesterday, my Alpha to Omega, that I recorded in 2019. Just before that, when I was having my dark night of the soul, and I came up out of it, the day I came out of it, I got a phone call, I got an email from a nurse who was looking after a man who was a Korean war veteran, and he was refusing to die. He was too scared to die because he thought that he was going to go to hell because he killed men in Korea. And he kept seeing things in the mirror, and he was covering up all his mirrors because he was convinced that he was seeing devils and demons and ghosts and that. He was being haunted, and he was too scared to die because he thought he was going to hell. And she said to me, I used to follow your blog. I don't know if you're still doing this, blah, 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 but could you talk to him? I call him Doug. That's not his real name, but I call him Doug. So if you ever hear me talking about Doug, I always give them fake names. And I spoke to him, and I explained everything to him. And I said to him, after the war, what did you do with your life? And he used to get bikes and strip them down, and, like he'd find bikes in the junkyard and, all that sort of thing, discarded without wheels on the side of the road and that, and he'd strip them down and do them up and then give them to kids. And I said to him, you've got nothing to worry about. I said, you were a victim of circumstance. You did what you had to do. It was kill or be killed. And you have nothing to worry about. The people who should be worrying about their souls when they die are the people who sent you to the war and the people who caused them. But you as a soldier, I said, you have nothing to worry about. I said, because if it wasn't you killing them, it would have been them killing you. And I said, it's just unfortunate that soldiers are used as fodder in a corporate war, because war is for profit and for nothing else. The only reason why they go to war is to make money and to hold political power and control over the country being forced to defend itself, like with Russia, being forced to defend themselves. But I said to him, you have absolutely nothing to worry about. I said, the children will be waiting to take you over. Not the children that he gave the bikes to, just the children, because children are angels, right? And when you die, the angels come and take you to the other side. So all the victims of Epstein, all the victims of war, all the child victims of war, all the child victims of murder and, disregarded, unwanted pregnancies where the mothers didn't give two shits, that sort of thing, they all become cherubs. Which is what I was saying the other day. When we're watching these kids on these videos, we're watching the torture of angels, actual for real angels. And I said to him, the kids will be waiting for you. I said, nobody ever dies alone. If you have a conscience, you never die alone. There's always someone to meet you. And it's always the children always come to collect you. And this is what I was saying to him. And I said to him, I promise you, you've got nothing to worry about. And then it was not even half an hour later, I got a message from Hussein that he'd crossed over. She said that he said, I'm happy now. I can go, I'm happy now. And then she said that he said, oh, look, the children are here. And she said, and he had a smile on his face. And then he died. That's what I do. That's my role. So my space program and my gaming chair is going to do a lot for people who are terminally ill. And I think it's even going to, people who have maybe been suicidal and stuff like that. I think it's going to change their minds because it's going to give them hope, because they'll see that God is real and there is something on the other side. You just have to have access to it. And Elon Musk and NASA and CERN don't have access to it. They've built a false reality based around fake science. Their understanding of God and the universe and aliens and all that is completely wrong. It's all based on sci-fi. All based on imagination and fairy tale. Whereas even though I speak the language of folklore and fairy tale and imagination, it's only because I can't do maths. My brain doesn't work in numbers, it works in language. And my language is a frequency that has codes built into the binary system that when I read it and decipher it, I pick out algorithms that open portals for me. And my space program and my gaming chair, along with like my North Star Cadets program and all that sort of thing, it's going to revolutionise the way people see God, the way people know aliens, the way people see the new world and life beyond this universe. Because I have access to it, they don't. I'm supposed to have my protector. He's supposed to be here. He's in the wings. But he's supposed to be stepping forward because we're supposed to be the X and Y of the universe. The left and right eye of the universe. We're supposed to be doing this together. Because he makes me feel safe. And it's not that I'm unsafe, it's just I'm constantly hounded by men trying to have sex with me. And, trying to treat me like a piece of meat. And it's annoying. Elon Musk trying to get my eggs, trying to stop me from, but with him, I'll be married. I'll have the ring, like everyone will know she has a husband. And then because he's my ground eyes, he has access to my social media and that. So when I get the messages from these pervs and all of that, he can just delete them and I don't have to deal with them. He's supposed to be my land protector, my earth dragon, my buffalo. But he's playing games. So, I don't know. But anyway, all his SpaceX people that are quitting, all his XAI people that are quitting, they can come and work for me. Like, we can work together. We can build my gaming chair if any of them are engineers. I know the guy that I work with for my space program, the one who deciphers the codes that the Council of Elders gives me, his name's David. I know exactly what he looks like because I was showing him in a dream. And in the dream, he even pointed to his name tag and said, remember my name, look for me. And he pointed to his name tag and it said David. and he had a clipboard, and we were going around, and I was telling him everything that the council were telling me, and he goes, "Oh," he goes, "Yeah, no, I know what that is," and he was saying, "That's this, and if I do that," and he goes, "You know, that's bloody genius." He said, "This is the dream." He goes, "That's genius," and he goes, "Remember me. Look at my name tag. Remember me." So he's the one that I trust to download my knowledge to, and then we build the space program, which won't even cost even like a fraction of NASA or SpaceX, and it's non-combustible stuff. So there'll be no flames or polluting the solar system or anything like that. And I tried to get the King on board, and I tried to get Russia on board, but they chose different paths. Russia's irreversible now because they pledged their allegiance to Donald Trump, and I can't be involved in that. I have to put the children first, because the children in my space program will take us beyond where I take us. I can only get us so far up there. But the kids in my space program are the future of the space program, and they'll take us the next step. So there we go. I was not expecting that download, but there we go. God's just told Elon Musk exactly what's coming for him. So get ready, people. Get ready. I'll speak to you later. Ka kite anō. Mwah.